Hello, my name is Whitney Burton. I am one of the managing editors of Quiz and Quill.
And I'm Margo D'Agostino, and I'm the other co-managing editor.
And welcome to episode 2 of Quiz and Quill's podcast. Today, we'll be hearing from our own Margo with her piece, The Art of Relaxation and Avoidance, followed by an interview by our poetry editor, Madison.
We will warn you, we do have a bit of triggering content in this episode to come. We'll give you a warning before that piece is read, but thanks for listening. Practicing the art of relaxation and avoidance. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale to remember the good, exhale to expel the evil. Align your spine with the soil of Mother Earth. Let her cradle you. My mat is made of microplastic by child laborers in India. As you slowly arch your back, reach up, fingers pointing at the sky. Let the pull of the sun lift you, elongate you. I suck in my gut to look as skinny as the girl next to me. Feet flexed, holding. Hold this pose and reach towards your toes into forward fold. I'm too white to pronounce Paschimottanasana. Forward fold. Allow yourself to breathe. Allow yourself to release, to escape the anxiety of the world. In this moment, you are whole, you are worthy. But it's $100 for the class to reach enlightenment. Now slowly stand, regain your footing, and set your feet shoulders width apart once again. Praise the sky, praise the earth for creating you. Humanity does not praise me for destroying it. Breathing in and out won't repair the damage I've done, and the damage it's done to me.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us, Margo, on the podcast today to talk about your piece.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Of course. So first I want to ask you, where did this poem come from?
I've done yoga before, just casually. I'm very, very amateur about it, but the fact that in the United States, yoga is seen as like a good workout, there's like wine yoga, mom yoga, there's a lot of different ways that we've kind of appropriated yoga into our very hectic, very busy lives, and it takes away from the intention of like grounding yourself that it actually stems from. And so it's so hard to authentically experience something when you know that everything surrounding it has been tampered with and tainted by the culture, by, different aspects of our culture that have really, really hurt the principle of the activity.
So now every writer has their favorite line in every piece they create. So I have to ask you, which line in this beautiful piece are you most proud of?
I really do love the third line in the piece. Align your spine with the soil of Mother Earth. A yoga instructor actually said this when I was doing outdoor opera yoga in the park. I cannot explain what made me do that. Quarantine does weird things. But also I think the line, I'm too white to pronounce Paschimottanasana, because I didn't expect to read this aloud, I had put it in the piece because I am too white to pronounce that word. And so we just say forward fold, because in our culture, we're just dedicated to the activity, but we're not actually really invested in the culture that brought it to us.
There's one last question I have to ask you. This poem is a lot about finding beauty and inspiration in these mundane activities. And so if you could give advice for staying motivated and creative in a stagnant period in life, what would you say?
Yeah, so I think that I know that I go through creative ebbs and flows the way a lot of us do. And at the point that I was doing a lot of yoga, I wasn't necessarily writing as much. And so what I would say is that even if the activities you're investing yourself in aren't explicitly creative or aren't explicitly in your creative disciplines, if you're really invested in photography or even really liking a certain animation style, it's okay to fully invest yourself in that, because you can always revisit it later with new knowledge and new experiences, and then you'll have some really interesting things and interesting perspective to bring to your writing.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Margo. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Oh, thanks again for having me. Next up, we have a story by Alexis Sheets titled The Declination Process of the Voicemail Mentality, a Breakup Breakdown. There is some triggering content in this piece, including mentions of self-harm and relationship abuse, so please take care while listening. Following the story, we will have an interview with Alexis by our fiction editor, Parker.
The Declination Process of the Voicemail Mentality, a Breakup Breakdown. Hey, you reached Ashlyn Brichter at 740-328-1333. Sorry I missed your call, but leave your name, number, and a message, and I'll call you back as soon as I can. Thanks. 11 missed calls from 740-827-1432. Press star to open message 1. Step 1. Denial. Message 1 sent by 740-827-1432 at 8:25 p.m. on October 20th. Hey, I know I'm probably the last person you want to hear from right now, but I want us to talk this out. I know we fight too much, but everyone fights in relationships, right? I mean, we always have. We fight and break up and cry and then get back together. This time isn't going to be any different. Pick up the phone and we can meet up and talk about this. What I said was stupid. I'm sorry, so just call me back. Message 2 sent by 740-827-1432 at 8:37 p.m. on October 20th. You have to know I wasn't serious when I said those things. You know me, Ash. I say stupid shit I don't mean when I'm mad. Those words meant nothing. Absolutely nothing. Please just answer so we can talk this out and fix this. Please just call me. Message 3 sent by 740-827-1432 at 8:42 p.m. on October 20th. God, I know what I said was stupid, but I didn't mean it, Ash. You're the love of my life. Please, I just want you to give me another chance. Please pick up the phone and let me apologize. Please, let me fix this. Step 2. Bargaining. Message 4 sent by 740-827-1432 at 9:15 p.m. on October 21st. God, please just pick up. I'm so sorry. I'm so fucking sorry. I'll try to be better. I'll try to change. I'll never say things I don't mean when I'm mad ever again. I'll bite my tongue. Please, you know I didn't mean what I said. I was mad and being fucking stupid. If I could take it all back right now, I would. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please just let me fix this, Ash. I'll do anything. Please just pick up. Let me fix this. Message 5 sent by 740-827-1432 at 9:34 p.m. on October 21st. Seriously, Ash, this isn't funny. Just pick up the damn phone. Let me fix this. Message 6 sent by 740-827-1432 at 9:56 p.m. on October 21st. Come on, pick up the phone, Ash. I'm desperate here. You mean the world to me. You're my everything. I don't know what to do without you. We've been fighting to make this dysfunctional relationship work since day one. Just call me so I can fix this, Ash. I need you. I need you so damn bad. Please just call me back. Please. Step 3. Anger. Message 7 sent by 740-827-1432 at 10:23 p.m. on October 22nd. Can you not see how much you're fucking me up? Can you not hear how close I am to breaking down? It doesn't need to be this way. You don't have to hurt me like this. Just pick up the damn phone. I swear to God, just pick up the phone, Ashlyn. Message 8 sent by 740-827-1432 at 10:41 p.m. on October 22nd.
I don't know how to live without you, Ash. I really don't. I just don't know how I can function in this world without you. We're fucked up, the both of us. That's why we're perfect for each other. You complete me. I don't know how to live without you. Please just call me back. You don't have to say anything. I just need to know that you are getting these messages.
Message 9 sent by 740-827-1432 at 10:54 p.m. on October 22nd.
I don't think you ever gave a shit about me. Ashlyn, if you loved me, you wouldn't be putting me through this. If you loved me at all, you wouldn't be killing me like this. I don't know how to live without you, Ashlyn. I don't think I can keep living like this, knowing you're out there fucking some other girl. If I can't have you, I don't want to be alive anymore. Goodbye. I'll always love you. Step 4. Desperation.
Message 10 sent by 740-827-1432 at 11:44 p.m. on October 23rd.
God, I don't want this to be over. Please, you're my only reason for staying alive. If I can't have you with me, if you won't be by my side, I don't want to live in this shitty world anymore. You're the only good thing in my life. No one else has ever given a shit about me the way you do. I don't want to live in this world without you. I won't live in this world without you. Goodbye, Ash. You were my soulmate and the love of my life. I hope you're happy without me.
Message 11 sent by 740-827-1432 at 12:03 a.m. on October 24th.
Can't you see that I'm giving up without you? I've already self-harmed again tonight. I'm so close to ending it all. Why don't you give a fuck? Did you ever even give a fuck about me? If I have you, I don't have to do this. I won't have to end it all. If you don't pick up the phone, I'm going to do it. Just pick up the phone and I won't. Please, you're my only reason to live. I can't live without you. Please. Step 5. The end.
If you would like to delete all messages in your inbox, please press pound. Messages deleted. Goodbye.
Wow, that was a really powerful piece. What inspired you to write something like that?
I was in an abusive relationship in high school, and I'd completely forgot that my voicemail box existed, so about a year later, I went back to check all of my voicemails, and I'd found that my entire voicemail box was filled from messages from my ex during our tumultuous breakup. So that really inspired me to write this piece.
Interesting. So how much of this piece would you say is fiction, and how much is sort of based on reality?
The whole thing is pretty based on reality. I dialed it down for readers because the entire experience of what actually happened would probably be a bit too much for a casual reader. But it's all truth, names have been changed, and I definitely deleted quite a few messages that are not in the piece. I would say that I had about 20 messages in my mailbox. But I went through those and kind of edited it so it would be more clear and concise and a little bit less disturbing to your regular reader.
For sure. So since this was so close to reality, you had some trepidations about writing this, I would imagine.
Of course. I was worried about the reaction of anybody who might hear this that knew me in real life. For readers that don't know who I am personally, I think it's a bit easier to digest versus my parents or the kids I graduated high school with, hearing what actually happened on the other end of the relationship.
I'm sure it wasn't the most easy thing to put out for yourself. What was your sort of objective when you were writing this piece?
When I was writing this piece, I kept thinking about how alone I felt in the situation. I was caught between trying to do what I thought was best for me and what would reflect on the people in my life. But there's also a point where I knew that other people had to have been experiencing this isolation that comes with an abusive relationship. And I really wanted to create a space for readers who can relate in what's happening and understand that they too are part of this larger community.
And is that a very intentional goal you had in mind right when you started?
Yes, for sure. I definitely wanted it to be relatable. I wanted people to be able to read that and see that if you're in an abusive relationship currently, that there will be an end at some point. It may not be as soon as you'd like. It probably won't be easy, but there is an end.
The sort of structure of this piece is very interesting, and the fact that it's your voice recordings. How did you come up with that idea?
I was in an essay writing class with Dr. Lacannon. She wanted us to write essays that weren't in your typical essay format. Some people wrote essays based on license plate sayings. I decided to take a different medium, something that hit a little bit closer to home and not something that I'd heard in any other essay pieces.
And when you imagine this piece, for me personally, I just kind of saw it as like an answering machine you might have in your house. Is that something that you were thinking too, or is this more so on your phone? Did you have any thoughts about that?
I pictured it more so on like your personal cell phone, partially due to the fact that a lot of people don't have home phones anymore. And I think it's easier for abusers in a relationship to target the personal phone. It was just me hearing it. There was no possibility that, say, my siblings or my parents would come home to that voicemail box on a home phone.
I hadn't even thought about that. That's really interesting. At what point did you decide to kind of bring in the 5 stages of grief?
From the beginning. I started out by just laying out the voicemail recordings, the ones that I felt represented the transitions between these stages. And that's when I kind of recognized that there were clear differences between messages that were given at the beginning of that time point and the last few messages that were left on my mailbox.
And the ending of this piece ends on a rather somber note. Did you always know it was going to end that way?
Unfortunately, yes. It did end very harshly, and the only way I could get my ex to leave me alone was to completely cut off contact. Nothing else was working to sever that relationship. But the voicemails he did leave did fill up my entire inbox. It's like he's completely filled up that area in my life, and there's no room for him to come back and to do anything else. And it completely severed those ties. In some ways, it feels like even if it actually happens, over the course of a couple days, like it does in the piece, it feels like it's an eternity, a lifetime that you're fighting for this escape.
Is there anything that you see differently now, looking back on the piece later?
I think I can recognize how hurt that my ex must have been. And there's so much about high school relationships that are dependent on being young and naive, and I recognize how scared and lonely they must have felt on that end.
So is that something you kind of want people to take away from this piece?
Yeah, for sure. We often think of things as being very one-sided. I think everything is more of a grayscale, especially when you're young and you're new to relationships.
Well, I think we've pretty much covered all of it. Is there anything else that you want to say? Anything you're working on now?
I'm working on a couple of pieces individually. Hopefully some that I will be able to submit to the next literary magazine that the school comes out.
Well, thanks for coming in for the interview.
Of course, thank you.
And that concludes the second episode of our Quiz and Quill Spring Podcast series. Thank you for supporting the artistic voices of Otterbein.
Support for this podcast was provided by the English and Communication departments at Otterbein University. This episode was recorded and edited by Jeremy Lawrence. For more Quiz and Quill content, and to stay up on our events and submission opportunities, please follow us on social media and check out our website, quizandquill.com.